Why retirees travel more than ever before. After COVID lockdowns, seniors unleashed billions into travel, embracing JOMO, or the joy of missing out, with 33% trying slow journeys and 43% saying memories matter more than inheritance. It's a cultural earthquake reshaping families. Here are some explosive facts about the gray gap year, and the very last entry delivers a staggering scandal with a bonus just for you. What if retirement isn't about winding down, but waking up to the world? Imagine stepping off a plane at sunrise, suitcase in hand, decades behind you, and everything suddenly feels like it's just beginning. Today's retirees aren't slowing down. They're speeding up and they're booking trips like never before. In 2022, less than 1 in 5 older Australians reported taking a major holiday. By 2025, that number jumped to nearly 2 in 5. A cultural explosion hidden in plain sight, quietly doubling in just 3 years. And it isn't only happening in Australia. This same surge is being tracked across Europe, North America, and Asia. Why now? Longer life expectancy, better health, and a powerful psychological shift. People feel 10 or even 15 years younger than their actual age. Experts call it subjective age bias. What looks like retirement on paper feels like midlife in reality. That's why instead of armchairs, we're seeing backpacks, cruises, and passports stamped with countries their parents never dreamed of. Take Dr. Gabby Walters, a behavioral economics researcher. She points out that digital tools are a secret weapon. Seniors aren't dependent on travel agents anymore. They're comparing flights, booking boutique stays, and curating their own adventures with the same apps their grandkids use. And here's the kicker. Nearly half of seniors in 2025 say they're open to or already trying solo travel. Yes, entire generations once told to stay close to home are now navigating continents alone. But behind this revolution lies an even bigger question. If retirees are chasing freedom in such bold ways, where exactly are they heading next? Why are retirees choosing Europe over home? So now that we know retirees are packing their bags in record numbers, the question is, where are they really going? For decades, the picture was simple. Most seniors stayed local. Back in 2022, nearly half of older Australians said their next big holiday would be domestic. Think caravans, coastal drives, family barbecues, safe, close, and familiar. But something dramatic shifted. By 2025, domestic plans plummeted to just 32%. That's a drop of over a third in barely 3 years. And taking its place, a tidal wave of interest in Europe. Today, 22% name Europe as their next trip, and a full 31% call it their dream destination. Think cobblestone streets in Prague, long lunches in Tuscany, canal rides in Amsterdam. Why Europe? After years of closed borders and lockdowns, many say they're hungry for deeper experiences, not just ticking off tourist spots. They want to sit in a French cafe for weeks, not days. They want to live like locals, not visitors. Researchers even gave it a name, slow travel. And here's the wild fact. 1 in 3 seniors has already tried it, and it doesn't stop there. A smaller but fascinating group, about 10%, say they've embraced something called JOMO, the joy of missing out. Instead of cramming 10 cities into one whirlwind trip, they purposely skip the usual attractions. They're choosing quiet markets, neighborhood gardens, even forgotten railway towns. Imagine that, missing the Eiffel Tower on purpose because sipping coffee in a side street feels richer. But here's where it gets even more curious. While Europe surges, cruises, long thought to be fading, are roaring back. In 2022, 22% of retirees picked a cruise. By 2025, that's jumped to 29%. And these aren't the floating buffets of the 1990s. Today's ships are adding art studios, wellness centers, even onboard lecturers. Retirees are using cruises not only for comfort, but as classrooms at sea. At the same time, there's a nostalgic pull. The Pacific Islands, Fiji, Vanuatu, Tahiti, still capture 11% of dream trips. For many, these islands aren't new, but they carry memories of honeymoons, anniversaries, first family vacations. Seniors are blending the familiar with the exotic, returning to old loves while chasing new horizons. And hidden inside these numbers is a paradox. Retirees are traveling further, staying longer, and spending more. But many are quietly pulling money from a source nobody likes to talk about. And that revelation is where the story gets controversial. Is the kids' inheritance becoming travel money? Here's where it gets a little controversial. Because all those cruises, vineyard stays, and long European getaways aren't coming cheap. And many retirees are funding it in a way that would have shocked their parents' generation. They're spending the money once saved for their children. There's even a cheeky name for it, SKI, spending the kids' inheritance. And it's not a fringe idea. Surveys in 2025 found that 10% of retirees openly admit dipping into inheritance funds, while a massive 43% say they believe travel memories are worth more than leaving behind a financial legacy. Even more surprising, 69% feel absolutely no guilt about it. This is a complete cultural shift. For much of the 20th century, retirees measured success by what they left behind: houses, savings, assets. In post-war Australia and Britain, it was almost a duty. Work hard, save hard, and leave more than you started with. But now, the story is flipping. Retirees are saying, why wait? Why not use the money while we're alive to make unforgettable moments? Take this example. One Queensland couple in their late 60s downsized their family home, pocketed the profit, and used it to fund an annual trip with their grandchildren. Not to Disneyland, but to cultural capitals: Rome, Paris, Kyoto. They said the goal wasn't inheritance, but memory-making equity. And here's the kicker: kids are surprisingly on board. A 2025 survey shows 67% of families actually support their parents or grandparents spending the money on travel, especially if it creates shared memories. That's why 40% of seniors now travel with younger relatives, and the top reasons are priceless. 61% say it's for quality time, and 41% say it's for the joy of experiencing new things together. It's no longer about passing down wealth, it's about passing down stories. A grandmother teaching her granddaughter how to order gelato in Italian, a grandfather showing his grandson how to barter in a Moroccan souk. These are inheritances that can't be taxed or divided. They live in the mind. But here's the secret few talk about. Beneath the romantic family tales, retirees are becoming financial magicians. They're not just throwing money away, they're cutting costs in small, clever ways, so they can stretch their savings into once-in-a-lifetime journeys. And the strategies they're using might surprise you. Can savvy budgeting unlock global exploration? Here's the big question. If holidays are more expensive than ever, how are retirees managing to travel further, longer, and more often? The answer isn't lottery wins or hidden fortunes. It's smart, deliberate budgeting. In 2025, a huge 90% of seniors agreed that travel costs have climbed sharply. Flights, hotels, even a plate of pasta in Rome costs more than before. Yet, instead of canceling plans, retirees adjusted. 71% changed how they travel. Some cut back the number of trips, others swapped pricey destinations for cheaper gems. For example, Portugal's Algarve coast has quietly replaced parts of Italy as a senior favorite. It's 20% cheaper and still offers sunshine, wine, and history. And then there are the daily sacrifices. Surveys show 54% cut down on impulse shopping and 53% reduced dining out just to save for travel. Imagine skipping a weekly cafe visit in Sydney. $5 flat white saved. Multiply that by months and suddenly you've got the train ticket for Paris. But here's where it gets inspiring. 64% of seniors say they're comfortable dipping into retirement savings for trips because they see it as an investment in health and happiness. Some even call it preventative medicine, arguing that travel, movement, and social contact keep them healthier than staying home. And yet a silent risk lingers, because while they're saving cleverly and spending boldly, many are leaving one critical detail unprotected. What happens when an accident, illness, or delay strikes abroad? The answer lies in a surprising statistic. Are retirees insured or gambling with luck? Here's the side of the story most people never ask about. When seniors travel, are they protecting themselves or are they quietly rolling the dice? In 2025, research shows 72% of retirees buy insurance for international trips. That sounds reassuring, right? But here's the shocker. Only 48% go for comprehensive cover, and a full 20% now skip travel insurance altogether. Compare that with 2022, when just 12% skipped it. That's nearly doubled in 3 years. Rising premiums and complicated policies are scaring people away. The numbers get even riskier at home. On domestic trips, more than half of retirees, 56%, travel without any cover at all. They assume local trips are safe. But history tells a different story. In 2019, the bushfires stranded thousands of domestic travelers in Australia, costing families millions in cancellations. Without cover, many seniors paid out of pocket. Holidays turned into financial nightmares overnight. Globally, the picture is changing. In China, travel companies see the silver tsunami coming. They're launching elder-friendly cruises with onboard doctors, trains staffed with nurses, even resorts with built-in healthcare. Analysts say by 2025, senior tourism in China alone could reach 1 trillion yuan, about 140 billion US dollars. That's how big the market for safe, insured senior travel has become. But here's the twist. While the travel industry scrambles to adapt, many retirees still treat insurance as optional, which raises the ultimate question. If they're taking these bold risks, what does it really say about how retirement itself is being redefined? What does the gray gap year mean for the future of retirement? So after all the numbers, scandals, and secret strategies, here's the big picture. Retirement is no longer about slowing down, it's about speeding up into new lives. Look at the data. In just 3 years, major holiday bookings by seniors doubled. Nearly 40% took a big trip in 2024 compared to only 18% in 2022. Europe rose to the top of the dream list. Slow travel grew to 1 in 3 retirees, and cruises jumped nearly 7% in popularity. These aren't small ripples, they're cultural earthquakes. Historically, retirement was about rest. In the 1950s, Western societies built pension systems, expecting retirees to live quietly for 10 or 15 years. But today, life expectancy stretches decades longer. And with better health and digital access, retirees are rewriting those years as bonus decades. They call it a gray gap year, the same adventurous pause once taken by 20-somethings, now embraced at 60, 70, even 80. And what about money? The SKI movement, spending the kid's inheritance, is more than a punchline. Surveys show 43% believe experiences are worth more than leaving wealth, and families increasingly agree. The legacy is no longer a bank account, it's a shared passport filled with stamps. The twist? This movement isn't slowing down. Analysts expect senior travel spending to keep rising past 2030, creating a global silver economy worth trillions. Which means the gray gap year isn't a fad, it's a revolution in how we age, how we spend, and how we define freedom. Thanks for exploring the gray gap year with us. If you love these hidden travel secrets, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our next adventure. More jaw-dropping travel stories are waiting.